Are you preparing for CAT and other MBA entrance exams? BYJU'S Exam Prep, CAT and MBA, your one-stop solution for all MBA exams related questions. Watch unique strategies to ace CAT, XAT, SNAP, IIFT, TISNET, CMAT and other important MBA entrance exams. Tips and tricks to boost score, subject-wise and chapter-wise sessions, previous year's questions, exam-related update and notifications, live exam analysis and actual questions discussion. So why wait? Subscribe to BYJU'S Exam Prep, CAT and MBA YouTube channel and press the bell icon to stay updated.
Good afternoon, all of you. Good noon, Bharti, Sweetie, Sanil. I hope I am clearly visible and audible to all of you. Right. So I hope your preparation is going well. Yes. MAH CET preparation. You haven't been pushed off track just because the exam has been postponed. In fact, that should be a fuel for you, right? That should motivate you further that you've got more time now. You should utilize this time that you've been given. Right? So let's learn all the concepts to the T, right? Let's learn all the concepts really well so that we are able to attempt our best in the exam. So one such concept is syllogism, right? Good noon, Abhilasha, Shailesh. Good afternoon, Roosters. Hi, Lakshay. Good afternoon. I'm good. I hope the same for you. Hi, Ajinkya. Okay. So, as I was telling you that in your verbal reasoning, so in logical reasoning, you get a few questions that are based on language, right? Rather than let's say coding, decoding, rather than being based on analytical reasoning, they are called verbal reasoning. So syllogism is a part of that verbal reasoning, and 2 to 3 questions from this topic can appear in your logical reasoning section. Okay. The thing is that there are certain concepts that are involved in solving these questions. Once you learn those concepts, you can actually have 100% accuracy in syllogism. So that way it's a very rewarding topic, right? So that's the aim today. We learn the concepts and we practice a few questions. The focus will be more on learning the concept today, right? Because it's probably going to be a new concept for many of you, as it's not something that's just based on the interpretation of words, right? It's not like statement assumption or statement conclusion that we've done earlier. Okay. All right. So I usually think syllogism is my favorite. Yes, it's very interesting. Very like it gives you an odd sense of satisfaction every time you solve a syllogism question, right? Every time you get it right. I agree, Ayush. Good afternoon, Shivam. Yes, absolutely, Lakshay. If you know both the methods, Venn diagram as well as tick cross, then your time gets saved like anything, right? Then you can become very quick at these questions. Even with the Venn diagram method also, after you practice, let's say 25, 50 questions on it, you are able to imagine those diagrams. Sometimes I've seen the students not even drawing the diagrams to solve these questions, right? So even one method can lead you there. Venn diagram is a more comprehensive method. So that's what we'll be focusing on today, right? Okay, so let's begin. Now, first of all, what is syllogism? What is a syllogism? We have to understand that. So it says that it's a deductive argument. If you see here, I've written that it's a deductive argument. So deductive, that means we are deducing something, right? What does it mean to deduce something? To, yes, your responses to what it means to deduce? To derive, yes, but it's a special type of derivation. Yes. So, see, there's a difference between these two words, deduce and induce, right? When you deduce something, you are certain, you are sure about the conclusion. You are sure about the conclusion. So, whatever conclusion you derive, you are sure about it. But when you induce, your conclusion is of a probable nature, right? So, we are going to talk about deductions today. We are going to derive conclusions that we are sure about, that we are certain about. Okay, so syllogism is a deductive argument. What is an argument? We've done this. Yes, in critical reasoning, I told you that an argument is a set of premises and conclusion, a conclusion that you derive based on certain reasons, and those reasons are called your premises. Premise 1, premise 2, there can be a number of premises. So it's a sort of a syllogism. It's an argument. It is such an argument which is deductive in nature, and at its most basic level, it will have two premises. It can have more than two also, there's no limit, right? But at its most basic level, it has two premises and one conclusion. These are absolutely required, right? So I hope this makes sense. Yes, in real life, if you really start giving meanings to terms, Ayush, yes, then it could become illogical. Rishabh, tick-cross method is again a method of solving syllogistic arguments, basically arriving at conclusions from various premises in deductive logic. So it's one of the methods. We are going to focus on the Venn diagram method today. Okay. To infer, to conclude, yes, those are the general meanings of deduce. The specific meaning is when you derive a certain, a short conclusion, right? Okay. So now, the premises and the conclusion are very simple statements. Okay. They are not as complex as the sentences in our real lives are. Okay. The statements are very simple. For instance, all roses are red. I'm just giving an example here, right? I'll come to the premises in detail. So they are very simple statements that assert something, that declare something, right? And they have quantifiers attached to them. They have quantifiers attached to them. Quantifiers like some, all, no, right? We'll see those quantifiers also shortly. So I hope you understood what a syllogism is. It's a deductive argument. At its most basic level, it has two premises and one conclusion. The premises are of a very simple nature, right? And they have words, and even the premise and as well as the conclusion, they have quantifiers attached to them, right? So let's see. Now, these premises, they are stated facts, okay? They are statements. Now, when I say fact, it doesn't have to be an accurate fact, right? So I'm not talking about things like the sun rises in the east. I'm not talking about those. In syllogism, you can have a premise, the sun rises in the west. That's absolutely fine. Okay. So they are just statements that assert something. Statements that state, declare, assert something, right? Now, even if you disagree with them, even if you say, no, this is not true, based on your real life, you apply your real life knowledge and you say, how can you say the sun rises in the west? No, that's not true, right? You have to take them to be true. You have to assume them to be true. So, even if I say something as absurd as all roses are tables, you are not going to assign meanings to roses and tables. Okay, for you roses is simply x, for tables is simply y, right? So do not assign meanings to these terms, and you do not have to verify their truth. Okay, no verification of truth is necessary as far as your statements are concerned, right? You can have very absurd premises and conclusions in syllogism because you don't assign meanings to these terms except to the quantifiers. That's what you assign meaning to. You don't assign meaning to anything else. Hope so far so good. Good noon, Prem, Sonali. So I hope everybody has joined because the learning the concept from the scratch is very important in syllogism. I need your full attention today. Once you just devote some minutes of concentration to me, trust me, this becomes a very easy topic, right? Okay. So I hope this is clear to you, and now I can proceed to what are the quantifiers, right, that I talked about. So these are the types of statements that are given to you, right, in syllogism. All A is B, all X is Y. So this PQ could be anything here, okay? So all lights are dark. I could say even I can make such a statement also because we're not assigning meanings to light and dark. All lights are dark, right? Then some trees are brown. So all, some, no, and some not. These are the four types of quantifiers that you will encounter in syllogistic statements. Okay, now we have given names to these, fancy names, right? Let's see. When I say all, it's covering everything, right? All. So all trees are brown. Sare ke sare, right? So that's why it's called a universal statement because it's covering everything. Affirmative simply means positive. It simply means that there is an absence of no or not in this statement. There is no or not in these two statements. No, that is why they are affirmative. They are positive, right? Okay. Similarly, when I say no P is Q, if I say no tree is brown, no tree is brown, that leaves out all the trees. Again, I'm either, when I say all, I'm including everything. When I say no, I am excluding everything. So again, it's a universal statement. But while this was universal affirmative or universal positive, this is universal negative, right? This is just nomenclature. Nobody's going to question you on this. This is for your knowledge. Okay. Now, when I say some may not be universal, right? When I say some trees are brown, you can't be sure that all trees are brown, right? So, some, that is why it's not universal in nature. It is particular, right? It's called particular, not universal. And because this is positive, it's affirmative. And because this has a not in it, some trees are not brown, this is negative. Okay, hope this makes sense. All right, now coming to our next slide. So this was about premises, right? Now what is a conclusion? Of course, it is something that is based on the premises. We all know this now that we've done so many questions on statement conclusion, on critical reasoning, we know this. Also, this needs to be validated. What is validity? Right? When we say that this conclusion is valid, what does it mean? See, there is a difference between truth and validity. When you say true, basically you check it with your real life. You check it with your surroundings. Right? That's why I said that we don't need the premises to be true. We don't need the premises to be true. What does valid mean here? Valid means that assuming that the given premises are true, we have to assume that. We don't have to check that. Assuming that the given premises are true, if the conclusion logically follows, we say that the conclusion is valid. We say that the conclusion is valid. It is valid. I hope this makes sense. So assuming that, let's say, all roses are green, okay, and all green are brown, just giving you an example, all green are brown. Assuming this to be true, can I say that all roses are brown? All roses are green. Now all green is brown. So I can conclude this, right? That all roses are brown. So this is a valid conclusion. When assuming that the premises are true, your conclusion logically follows, it is called valid. So this is what, so you will be given questions with minimum 2 premises and 1 conclusion minimum will be given to you. You will have to tell the examiner whether this is a valid conclusion or is not a valid conclusion based on the given premises. Right? That's going to be your job. Okay. All right. Ayush, about the notifications, you have subscribed. Okay, you're saying you've subscribed to the YouTube channel and notifications are on. Okay, so I'll forward this concern to our team. Okay, and I'll tell you how it works. Right? Okay. All right. All right. Now, I hope so far so good. These things are clear to you. What I've just stated. What is a syllogism, right? Then what the premises are. You don't have to check their truth. You may disagree with them, but that's fine. These are the 4 types of statements that we will be dealing with, right? And this is what the conclusion is. Now, I showed you 4 types of statements there. All, some, no, some not. Let's understand these statements in detail. What do they mean in the world of logic? That's what we are going to see. So if I say all A is B or all P is Q, just assign it any alphabet you want, right? Any letter you want. Now, all A is B, right? If I ask you to use Venn diagrams to represent this statement. Okay, present this statement using Venn diagrams. Now I hope we understand Venn diagrams. If we don't, then let me tell you, it's a very simple concept. When I say basically a Venn diagram is a circle. It's a set. In case you've read set theory, even if you have not, right? It simply represents a circle. So for instance, assume that A का एक circle है, assume B का एक circle है. So when I tell you all A is B, how will these two circles be related to each other? That's what I'm asking you. Yes, now I need your active participation. All A is B. How will I present this on a Venn diagram? Tell me. All A is B. How can I present this on a Venn diagram? Our focus is on building concepts today. A inside B. Very good, Ayush. A inside B. So this is A and this here is B. Absolutely correct. Right. This is, so is this the only way of presenting this diagram? All A is B. Presenting this statement, all A is B. Or is there some other way? Okay, very good. One of you, Rishabh said A is equal to B. Ayush said A is equal to B. Very good, very good. Okay, so yes, A is equal to B is also one of the ways in which I can present this on a Venn diagram. See, it's a very simple thing, no? If I say all A is B, then A can be as small as a dot inside B, right? It simply has to lie inside B. It can be as small as a dot, or it can, let's say, increase up to any size, but maximum it can increase till here. It can't go outside B. Okay, increase, okay, it can just become equal to B, it can't go outside B. So between these two diagrams, I have covered all the possible ways in which all A is B is true, right? It could be as small as a dot, you have to just reduce the size of the circle in that case, or it could expand and reach A is equal to B. That's it, it can't go outside. So very good. These are the two diagrams for this statement. Now, let's see the second statement. Let's see the second statement. Okay, any queries so far? Let me just, all right. Overlap, complete overlap. Yes, this is a complete overlap. We call it complete overlap. When there's a partial overlap, we call it an intersection, right? So now let's have a look at the second statement. Sum A is B. Sum A is B. Again, A has a circle, B has a circle. Tell me how they will be related. Sum A is B. Sum A is B. A common portion, an intersection. Correct. Correct, Sanil, Ayush. An intersection. All right. So let me draw it. This is A and this is B. Correct. So this part is our focus here. This common portion. Yes, sum A is B means at least one A is B. At least one A is B. Right. So let me just see some of your responses. Intersection, some part of A, okay. Some mutual area. Both the circles will be interrelated. You are right. A inside B is also true. Okay. Ayush has made a very significant statement that A inside B is also true. Okay. Let's find out if that is the case. A inside B, can it be true? I am saying sum A is B. So, our common everyday understanding of sum is that it's only a portion, it's not the whole. Yes, it's only a portion, it's not the whole. No, I'll just have some. When we say that, that means in our everyday real life, I am implying this that pura nahi khana, thoda sa hi khana, let's say, right? If I'm talking about food. But let's look at it logically from the world of logic. When I say sum A is B, let's imagine a bowl of toffees, right? There is this bowl of toffees. Now it's an opaque bowl. Okay, steel ka maan lete, right? So you can just see the toffees on the surface, the ones that are there on the surface. You can't see what's there inside. Okay. Now the toffees, let's say uh, these toffees, the ones that I've drawn here on the surface, they are of what flavor? Caramel flavor, right? So now these toffees on the surface, they are caramel flavor. So you can comfortably say this. Can you comfortably say this? Some toffees in this bowl, are of caramel flavor. In short, I'm writing this are caramel. Some toffees in this bowl are caramel. I can say this comfortably. But do I know anything about the rest of the toffees just by looking at the surface? Until I dig deeper, I do not know anything about the rest of the toffees, right? So, from just looking at the surface, can you say this? Can you say this that some toffees in this bowl are not caramel? Can you say this? Some toffees in this bowl are not caramel. Yes. So, I cannot be sure. I cannot be sure. And in deductive logic, we are dealing with certainties, isn't it? I cannot be sure about this because I really don't know what is there inside. Okay, so understand this now. When in your daily life you said, okay, I'll just have some, you clearly implied that there is a certain portion that I'll not have. There is a some not that is clearly implied there. But in the world of logic, when you make the statement some, right, you simply don't know about the rest. You just know about these some. When you say some A is B, when you say let's say some roses are red, that means you simply don't know about other roses. They can be red, they may be red, they may not be red. Okay, they may be red, they may not be red. So that means here also there is a possibility that when you dig deeper, all of these turn out to be caramel. When you dig deeper, you look at all the other toffees, all of these also turn out to be caramel. That possibility exists, right? That means some allows for the possibility of all. Some may be all. Okay. So that's why we do not say that some implies some not. हम नहीं बोलते हैं लॉजिक में this is wrong. Some does not. Some you can write it like this. Some does not necessarily imply some not. Let me write it here. Some does not necessarily imply some not. हो भी सकता है some not नहीं भी हो सकता है. ठीक है. So when you dig deeper, you may find out that okay the others are also caramel, or you may find out that okay some are not caramel. You may find out that as well, that okay some are not caramel. So some does not necessarily imply some not, ho sakta hai, and some may be all also. Now keeping this in mind, let me just draw the diagrams that some of you already stated, right? I'm deleting some portion here, I need space, or wait, let me draw here. So some A is B, this, I think this diagram must be clear to everybody, right? That we are talking about this common portion here, ye wala portion, right? Then one other simple way, which all of you will agree with very intuitively, is this. Some A is B, B lies completely inside A. Yes. So some portion of A is B here, right? It is one of those cases where there is a portion of A that is not B also. Ye bahar wala portion. Right? This is not. So these two possibilities students intuitively agree with, right? Now the other possibility, I told you some may be all, That's a possibility, and here I am drawing all the possibilities. Mera effort hai to draw all the possibilities. So all is a possibility and all is again a possibility. So what have I done? मैंने all के दोनों diagrams यहाँ पर बना दिए because all is a possibility. So these are the 4 ways in which sum A is B is true. Right? I hope everybody has understood. Let me see if there are any queries. Okay. So some not, some and some not are not the same concepts, Bharti. We will deal with some not. Just hold some of your queries for a while. I'm sure once we complete all the statements, once we derive certain conclusions from them, they will get clear. Okay. All right. Now coming to let me just explain it very quickly in another way. I love to explain it like that. See, this is the common portion, right? When I say sum A is B, okay, let me just delete. I don't know, delete actually. When I say sum A is B, look here. I am sure about this portion, but I'm not sure about this, not sure about this. Yes, these are the 2 portions that I'm not sure about. I'm just sure about the common portion. When I say sum A is B, it simply means at least one A is B, right? So when I delete this outer portion of B, what happens? B completely comes inside A and I get this diagram. When I delete this outer portion of A, what happens? A completely comes inside B and I get this diagram. And when I delete both the portions here, I am just left with the common portion where A is equal to B and I get this diagram. It's a very commonsensical thing that we have done here. Right? Okay, let's proceed to our third statement. Sum A is not B. Sum A is not B. Okay, so now let's see what sum A is not B means. Again, if you understood some, you'll understand some not. Right? So again, let's come to our bowl. Right? There are toffees on the surface. It's a steel bowl, so you can't see the other toffees. Now these toffees on the surface, they are not vanilla flavor. They are not vanilla flavor. Right? You know that the ones on the surface are not vanilla. Right? So I can very safely say that some toffees in this bowl are not vanilla. Okay? Again, I do not know about the other toffees. I am not sure about the other toffees. So what are the possibilities? That the other toffees may be vanilla, the other toffees may not be vanilla. That means, again, think of it, that when I say sum A is not B, when I say some trees are not green, let's say, that does not automatically imply that some trees are green. Some trees are green, हो भी सकता है true, नहीं भी हो सकता. बची हुई टॉफीज हो भी सकते हैं vanilla, नहीं भी हो सकते. Right? So, some not, when I say some toffees in this bowl are not vanilla, that does not automatically imply that some are going to be definitely vanilla. Okay? So, some not does not necessarily imply some. Okay? And some not may imply extreme possibility क्या हो सकती है? That I dug deeper and I found out कोई सी भी vanilla नहीं है. Okay, that this is also not vanilla. जैसे ये surface पे vanilla नहीं थी, ये सब भी vanilla नहीं है. So, some not may imply no. Okay, one extreme possibility is that no toffee in this bowl is vanilla. No toffee in this bowl is actually vanilla. That's an extreme possibility. So, I hope these 2 things are clear to you. Okay. Now, let's draw the diagrams. Sum A is not B. Give me the diagrams for these. Right. Prem, in most of the cases, what you are saying is correct, that the first diagram in sum A is B would be enough. In most of the cases, yes. But there can be some arguments where you may have to consider the alternative diagrams as well. So never be sure about this, but mostly what you're saying is true because it's the least overlap, right? I'll come to this when we solve questions. There is no connection between A and B, okay. That's an extreme yes possibility that no A is B. What other diagrams? Come on. Some A is not B. What are the diagrams? I want your active participation because we have the concept, then we have some questions. Okay, let me draw the first one. This and this. But you must be thinking, ये तो अभी बनाया था, some A is B में, right? We drew it in some A is B. But in some A is B, the focus wasn't this portion. This is the portion that we were sure about. In some A is not B, which is the portion that we are sure about? This one. Some A is not B. ये वो वाला portion है A का, यहाँ तक till here, which is not B, right? Okay, and let's do this again in that interesting way. See, I am not sure about this portion. I am not sure about this portion. So what happens when this outer portion of B does not exist? What happens? B goes completely inside A. When the outer portion does not exist, B goes completely inside A. बस ये वाला portion बचा. And what happens when this middle portion does not exist? We get two disjoint sets, as we call them, two separate circles. No A is B. So some A is not B can exist in this way. Some A is not B can exist in this way. We are focusing again on this portion here, the part that is not B. And extreme possibility is no A is B. Right? Okay, okay. Two completely different circles, A intersecting B, partial overlap, correct, correct. B inside A, absolutely. All of you are correct, right? So this is clear, I hope. Let's go to the last one. Very easy. No A is B. We just drew the diagram of no A is B. No A is B. कोई सा भी A B है ही नहीं. That's it. Simple. Life is easy. Okay. So this is how you present these statements on Venn diagrams. Okay. What is the use? We realize soon. But before we go again, because I am trying to build the concept from the scratch, let's look at some direct conclusions. Okay, in the world of logic we call them immediate inferences. What all immediate inferences I can draw from just this one statement? ये one statement देखकर अगर मैंने देखा कि अच्छा all A's B true है, तो फिर और क्या क्या true हो सकता है, right? So and that too क्या क्या true हो सकता है for sure. I am dealing with sure conclusions today, yes? So when I say all A's B, tell me, can I say all B's A? For sure. When I look at all A's B, can I say for sure that all B's A? Okay, यहाँ तो लग रहा है, but not here. And if something is true for sure, it should be true in all the cases. It should be true in all the cases. So no, when we say all A's B, that does not automatically imply all B's A, right? Okay. Then what can I say? Can I say some A's B? Can I say some A's B? You go to a park and all trees there are green. If you look at just some of them, they will also be green, right? So, some A's B is true. Yes. And similarly, some B's A is also true. When I say all A's B, there has to be at least one A that is B. There has to be at least one B that is A. Yes. So, at least one, that is the definition. So, this is something that is correct for sure, something that is valid for sure, right? Immediate inferences. You can try other permutations and combinations, but you will realize that there are only these two short conclusions that you can arrive at. Other conclusions will not be certain in nature. Okay. So, in fact, you can very easily look at it. Some A is not B. Possibly nahi hai to. Some A is not B. Jo hum keh rahe hain all A is B hai to. Right? Similarly, no A is B. Goes completely against the statement itself. Right? So, only these two short conclusions are possible when I know that this is true. right? Your examiner in the exam, instead of writing all A is B, can skip this all, can simply write A is B. So whenever nothing is written, no quantifier is written before a statement, you have to put all before it. Okay, you have to put all before it. Remember. All right. Perfect. Perfect. Now, coming to the next one, sum A is B. When I say sum A is B, what else can I be sure about? Four diagrams here. Diagram number 1, 2, 3, 4. To be sure about something, it should be true in all the four cases, yes? So tell me, what can I be sure about? What else can I be sure about? I'm going to write some conclusions here. Meanwhile, let's see what you say. Yes, Shailesh, I'm going to take questions, but see, for some of you, this is a new topic altogether. I understand that some of you already learned it, right? So that's why you must be eager to do questions, but for some, they're learning this for the first time, and it's not possible to proceed to questions till the time you learn the concept, right? Sum B is A, absolutely correct. Sum B is A is true, right? So the conclusion that follows is sum B is A. Because in all these cases at least one B is A. यहाँ तो all B is A है तो at least one तो होगा ही. At least one B is A. At least one B is A. So sum B is A is definitely true. Now, can I say sum A is not B? Can I say sum A is not B is an immediate inference? When I say sum A is B, can I conclude sum A is not B? I can't. We've just learnt it, right? Some does not necessarily imply some not. यहीं पर लिखा हुआ ही है. So no, I cannot. So similarly, when you test all the others, right? Let's say you tested all A is B. So all A is B is true in these two cases, but it will not hold true in these two cases. So there's only one short conclusion that will follow from this statement: sum A is B, right? Hope this is clear. Now, coming to sum A is not B. Sum A is not B. So that means that there is at least one A that is not B. What can I conclude from this? My question to you is, can I say sum B is not A? Can I say sum B is not A? Please discuss only case means. Acha, only wala case. Okay, yes, I will discuss it. Don't worry. I have it in my slide. So here Rishikesh is saying yes, you can say sum B is not A. Again, see कैसे check करते हैं if something is true for sure or not? We look at all the possibilities. So here, yes, this part is correct that there is a part of B that is not A. So sum B is not A is true. But can you say that here that sum B is not A? यहाँ पे तो सारा का सारा B A है, all B is A. Can you say that sum B is not A? You can't, right? So no, I cannot say sum B is not A. I can't even say sum A is B because I just learned that sum not does not necessarily imply sum. So I can't say that sum A is B. ये भी नहीं बोल सकती मैं. I can't say sum A is not sorry, sum B is A. ये भी नहीं बोल सकती मैं. So if you observe, I can't really say anything. Okay, no immediate inference. Let me put it here. No immediate inference can be drawn from the statement sum A is not B. Okay, no immediate inference. And lastly, no A is B, the best out of the lot, the simplest out of the lot. And after this, we are going to begin questions in a short while. No A is B, बहुत दिख ही रहा है तो कि no B is A है. Yes, ये तो इतना सोचने की भी जरूरत नहीं है. If no A is B, no B is A, right? So that's one conclusion. What else? अब अगर सारा का सारा A ही B नहीं है, so even if I took, let's say, a portion of it, I took some of A. Will that be B? No, that will also not be B. So some A is not B is also true. If I go to a park and no tree is green there, so even if I look at some of them, they will also not be green. Similarly, if I look at just some portion of B, that will also not be A. So these are the direct conclusions, you can call them that, or these are the immediate inferences from these statements. Okay, now for your exam purposes, let me just tell you, instead of writing some A is B, your examiner can say at least one A is B. Okay, instead of writing some, the examiner can say, let's say, many A is B. Okay, a few A is B, right? Then the examiner can say few A is B, but all of them mean some only, right? All of them mean some only. Okay. Then let's come to some A is not B. Instead of saying some A is not B, your examiner can try to confuse you, right? And say at least one A is not B. So same baat hai, some A is not B. Say. Then the examiner can also say not all A is B. Not all A is B. Instead of saying some A is not B, not all A is B. Again एक ही बात है, ठीक है? Instead of saying no A is B, the examiner can say A is not B. A is not B. एक ही बात है, right? And I told you when nothing is written before a statement, no quantifier before a statement, I can put an all before it. So the examiner can also say this: all of A is not B. All A, पूरा का पूरा A B नहीं है. The examiner can also put it like this. So these are the various variations of statements, right? Okay. Now either one or two case. Okay. Either one or two means that individually neither of them is true. Individually neither of them is true, but they are but between themselves they are covering both the possibilities. I'll give you an example. Yes, a few and few, they have to be assumed some, Sonali. A few and few have to be assumed some. But when I say only few, that means if I say only few, A is B. Only few A is B. That means there is definitely a portion of A that is not B. ठीक है? So इसका मतलब है ये वाला diagram. Okay, I cannot draw this diagram here. So we saw 4 diagrams for sum, right? We saw 4 diagrams for sum. So when I say only few A is B, so ये वाला diagram true हो जाएगा, ठीक है? और कौन सा diagram true होगा? ये वाला true हो जाएगा. ये दोनों नहीं आएंगे. These two diagrams won't come when I say only few. Remember that, right? Okay, so I hope so far so good. We have learned immediate inferences also. You want me to cover the only case, so let's cover the only case and then we'll see if we are in a position to attempt some questions. Now, only few अलग था, only few मत apply करना यहाँ पर, ये अलग case है अब. Only A is B, only A is B, right? So if I say, I am just making a statement here. Only humans are girls. We don't have to assign a lot of meaning to it, right? Only humans are girls. Makes sense also, right? Usually we say girl. We use the term girl for a human being, right? Only humans are girls. If I ask you to present this on a Venn diagram where one circle is of humans, one is of girls, how will you draw it? These sentences framed, they are allowed to be grammatically wrong. Okay. So this is syllogism part 1. Okay, we'll have one more session on this, part 2, wherein we'll talk about logical consistency and we'll practice a few more questions, right? Because I understand that today we focus more on the concept. So you must be thinking, aaj to bas concept hi ho gaya. That's why we've kept 2 parts for syllogism. This is part 1. Part 2 will be logical consistency plus some questions, right? Practice questions. Today also we'll do a couple of questions, don't worry. H और G कहाँ से आ गए? मैंने तो ये और भी दिए थे. So Anuja says B is inside A. B is inside A. Okay. So that means girls are inside humans, right? Girls. Acha, okay. H or G ऐसे. ठीक है. My bad. My bad. I admit my mistake. This was not supposed to be a mango. This is a circle. Uh, Absolutely right. And it makes sense to us. Girls अंदर होना चाहिए, humans बाहर होना चाहिए, right? ठीक है. So, do you see that this is very similar to the all diagram that I drew? Yes, very similar to the all diagram that I drew in the beginning. All A is B wala, wherein A is this and B is this. So instead of saying only humans are girls, can I say all girls are humans? Absolutely, I can say that. Right. So there are two possibilities in which through which I can draw this. When I say only humans are girls, there are two possibilities. Either girls lie inside humans, right? Because humans के अलावा कोई भी girl नहीं है. Except humans, nothing else can be a girl. Okay, except humans, nothing else can be a girl. So girl can be as small as a dot inside humans, or it can expand, expand, expand and reach equal to humans. But it cannot go outside humans because only humans are girls. That constraint is there. It can't go outside humans. So after expanding, it can become equal to H though, right? But it can't go outside it. So if you see, whenever you encounter an only A is B, no, just change it to all B is A. That's it. You are sorted. Only A is B is nothing but all B is A. Right? Hope this makes sense. Hope this makes sense. ठीक है? अच्छा. Now let's take some questions. These slides just explain what I've already explained to you. Okay. These are some ready-made slides. I drew all the diagrams for you just for more clarity. Now, I hope you've been enjoying the session. Now, we are about to begin some questions, right? So, let's see. Here is a very basic question on syllogism. Some pies are waffles. This is your premise 1. All waffles are pastries. Remember, in the first and second premise, there should be a common term. If there is no common term, no, then how can you derive a conclusion on the basis of these two? There has to be some connection. So this term is called the common term or the middle term in the world of logic, right? Now these two conclusions are given to you. You have to tell me which of these follow. A, only B, neither, both. There is an either also. So we'll address that also. Okay, so how to solve this? How to begin about solving this? अब sum के तो 4 diagrams थे, all के भी 2 diagrams थे. Should I go about drawing, let's say, 8 diagrams and then decide? No, we don't have that kind of time in the exam, right? So what should I do? I should pick up the diagram with the least overlap. Minimum overlap वाला diagram सबका choose कर लेते हैं. Minimum overlap किसमें था? ये वाले में, right? There is just a part that is intersecting. Sorry. So some pies are waffles. All में एक में तो complete overlap ही था. One of the diagrams had complete overlap. A is equal to B, so we'll choose the other one. Now see, all waffles are pastries. All waffles are pastries. So this is pies. Let me make it pie. Okay, and all waffles are pastries. So I'm making this diagram for it. Right? ये हो गया pastries. Now let's look at the conclusions. Some pies are pastries. Some pies are pastries. Is it something that is necessarily true? Tell me. Something that will necessarily follow. Some pies are waffles and all waffles are pastries. So can I say some pies are pastries? I can't say that for sure, right? Some pies have to be pastries because some pies are waffles और सब जब सारे के सारे waffles ही pastries हैं, so by corollary some pies have to be pastries. So one follows. Can I say no waffle is a pie? Doesn't that go against my statement itself? That goes against my first premise itself. The premise said at least one pie is a waffle, right? So this one does not follow. A is our answer. Hope this is clear to everybody. Only A follows here. Right? Let's go to the next question. Meanwhile, I'll bring some water. Tell me. 2 again. Sorry, okay, this is the solution. Now, there are 3 premises. Let me see how you deal with it. 3 premises. You just increase the number of circles. That's it. We know which diagram to take for all. No का तो diagram ही एक ही है. So everything is sorted there. Let's see what you say. All peas are potatoes. All peas are potatoes. P, potato. All potatoes are tomatoes. All right. This is my humble attempt at a circle only. Now I'm saying no tomato is an onion. There comes a negative statement here. No tomato is an onion. That means onion cannot intersect tomato at all. Right? Onion cannot intersect tomato at all. There is this wall between them. Right? That's how I like to draw my negative statements, by putting this wall. Now, conclusion. All tomatoes are potatoes. Does A follow? All tomatoes are potatoes? I can clearly see that's not the case. It does not follow. All peas are tomatoes. See, if all A is B and all B is C, all A is definitely C. If all A is B and all B is C, all A is definitely C. All peas are tomatoes follows. B is the answer. Right? So I hope you've got a hang of how to draw the Venn diagrams. Right? B is our answer. Now, let's have a look at this question, the third one. Let's see what you say. And don't worry, we'll have a part 2 of this session, as I told you. There we will discuss logical consistency. That's one topic that remains, and we'll practice more questions. I didn't know so many of you already knew the concept. I thought that, this is a new concept for you. So something new, I see something new here, yes, is a possibility. ये तो अभी तक we didn't deal with this, right? All silver being purple is a possibility. So basically this simply means that it's not necessary that all silver is purple, but there could be one of the cases out of my various cases of Venn diagrams where this can be true. There may be a case where this is true. That means this is not definitely true, but this can be probably true. That's what I'm looking for. Let me see what you mark here. Okay. D, okay, neither follows. Then some of you say B. All right. So D I've got, B also I've got. Okay. Let's see. Okay, again, let's draw. All glasses are silver. ठीक है. मेरे glasses, all of them are silver. No silver is gold. Okay, so this is glass. No silver is gold. So there is this wall between them. It's important to draw this wall actually. Okay, because sometimes, let's say if my statement said no glass is gold, no glass is gold, that means the constraint on gold would in that case be that वो glass नहीं हो सकता, but वो silver हो सकता था, right? So that's why when you draw this wall very clearly, you realize, okay, what are the two constraints, what are the two circles that are related to each other, right? So A, B, all gold is purple. Now all gold is purple. I can draw purple in n number of ways. I can draw it like this also, covering everything. I can draw it covering this. But I go with minimum overlap. My approach is minimum overlap. Why is that my approach? Because minimum overlap allows us to check whether a conclusion is true in all the cases or not. Okay, so even if there exists this one case where it is not true, minimum overlap helps me in detecting it much more easily. राइट. सो अब मैंने इसको सिर्फ ऐसे ही बना दिया, ऑल गोल्ड इज पर्पल, राइट. P. No glass is purple. No glass is purple. Is that necessary? No glass is purple? Tell me. Yes or no? Is that necessary that no glass is purple? I just told you I can draw purple in n number of ways. Gold cannot intersect silver. That's there. But purple can intersect anything. Purple का क्या constraint है बस? Purple का क्या constraint है? That it has to cover gold. That's it. No other constraint on purple. Purple can be drawn like this. Purple can be drawn like this. Purple can also be drawn like this. Isn't it? So can I say that? Can I say this for sure? Remember, we are dealing with short conclusions. Can I say that say this for sure that no glass is purple? I cannot, right? So A does not follow. Now, all silver being purple is a possibility. I just showed you this possibility. That possibility to definitely that all silver can be purple. So B follows. B follows. This is a possibility. It's not a certainty that all silver is purple. अगर ये लिखा होता all silver is purple तो ये भी wrong होता. All silver is purple would have been wrong because clearly I can see a case where silver and purple are not related at all. This is wrong, but this is true. Only B follows. Clear to everybody? Okay then. Let's see another question. Right? This is our fourth question. Okay. Yes, B is correct, Sonali. Okay, this was a new case for you. Maybe wala case, possibility wala case. That's why I included this question. Right. Now see, only a few kingfishers are sparrows. Only a few. Remember, we dealt with only few. So now you will be able to draw the diagram. Only few, only a few. Let me see what you say this time. Can be a sparrow, can be, maybe, is a possibility. सब एक ही बात है, ठीक है? Is and are, they indicate a short statement, a definitive statement as we call it. Can be, maybe is a possibility. They indicate possibilities. Okay. Roosters, I'll show this to you in through this question. I think it will be clear to you because here also we are dealing with a possibility. Possibility वाले केस में अगर एक भी ऐसा मैं डायग्राम ड्रॉ कर सकती हूँ ना जिसमें वो ट्रू आ जाएगा, even if one such diagram exists where that can be true, then I consider it to be true. Okay. Absolutely correct, Sonali. You've got this bang on. That just because there's no other constraint on purple, purple can do anything, right? It just has to cover gold. After that, it can just go any which way, right? Good. B, D, all right. Again, B and D, okay. Okay. All righty. So, let's see. Only a few kingfishers are sparrows. So, you must have realized this that no matter how many statements I put here, it does not make a difference. You just have to make some more circles. That's the only effort that increases. So, that means I'll definitely go for this diagram. Let me put it inside kingfisher, sparrows. Some crows are flies. ये तो बिल्कुल भी see, they are not related at all to the other statement. So, I am drawing some crows are flies here. Some crows are flies. Okay. Now, this is how they are related. No fly is a kingfisher. What is the constraint? No fly is a kingfisher. They are not related to each other. Okay. First one says, all fly are sparrows. No, I can clearly see in my diagram this does not have to be necessarily true. Does not follow. All kingfishers may be sparrows. All kingfishers may be sparrows. So, can I do this? That I can draw sparrows around this? All kingfishers can be sparrows. Can I do this? But I have just said that only a few kingfishers are sparrows. Yes, I have just said that only a few are sparrows. So all kingfishers cannot be a sparrow. Okay, so even this one does not follow. These are answers. Neither follows. Right? Because it goes against this premise itself. It goes against it. A ने बोल दिया था कि only a few हैं. ठीक है, सारे नहीं हो सकते हैं. So that's why this goes against that premise. Neither is the answer. Okay. No, Shailesh, it cannot. Acha, you're saying all sparrows can be kingfishers. Okay, okay. Let's take this. Interesting. All sparrows may be kingfisher. This can be true. This possibility can exist. Okay. So sparrows can very well lie here. Because in this case also only a few kingfisher are sparrows, but it's possible for all sparrows to be kingfisher. Right? So, if the conclusion were this, it would follow. You are correct. Okay? So, this was about it. Now, either or. Some of you were asking me about either or, no? Let's look at either or in a simple question. Okay? Here. Right. So, we had a very basic question here. Some pies are waffles, all waffles are pastries, right? Now, when would either or be a scenario? Some pies are waffles and all waffles are pastries, right? This is pastry, this is pie. So here, if you look at this diagram, I can say that when I say all waffles are pastries, some pies have to be pastries, right? If I write some pies are pastries, this is definitely true. Okay. No, but I need something that is not definitely true. Neither वाला case चाहिए मुझे कोई. Let me just give you an example of my own. Right. So, if I say that all crows are birds. Okay, all crows are birds. Okay, and some birds are animals. Some birds are animals. All crows are birds. Some birds are animals. Now, if I give you two conclusions on the basis of these premises, if I give you two conclusions on the basis of these premises, acha, I think it is, my head has covered these diagrams, right? Wait. All crows are birds. All crows are birds, and some birds are animals. Some birds are animals. These are the premises given to you. Now, conclusion 1 says some crows are animals. Some crows are animals. And conclusion 2 says some crows are not animals. Some crows are not animals. Tell me, individually do they follow? Individually do they follow? Your premises were all crows are birds and some birds are animals. If I ask you individually, do these conclusions follow? Some crows are animals. Is it necessary? I can clearly see it's not. Similarly, some crows are not animals. ये भी कुछ ये necessary है that crows and there has to be a part of crows that is not animals. No, crows can lie here also, right? Crows can lie here also. Quite possible. Yes. So even this is not necessary. Even this is not necessary. So individually, neither of them follows, right? But either of these two has to be true. या तो some crows animals हैं या फिर some crows animals नहीं हैं, right? या तो some crows animals होंगे, ये possibility होगी, या some crows are not animals होंगे, ये possibility होगी, isn't it? What is the third possibility? What is the third possibility? Either some of them are animals and some covers all, or some of them are not animals and some not covers no. So between these two I have covered all the possibilities. So either of these is true. Either A or B follows. Either A or B follows. Individually, neither of them. But in case this is not true, then this is true. In case this is not true, then this is true. So either A or B shows a dependence and the exhaustive nature of the conclusions, that they cover all the possibilities between them. I hope this is clear to everybody. Either A or B. ठीक है? So this was about today's session. We learned the basics. We learned what the immediate inferences mean, right? We talked about how to solve questions, okay? How to expand our horizon so that we are able to imagine possibilities. Like in the case of purple, हमने imagine करा कि हाँ cover तो कर सकता है, right? So we have to think that way. Think of these diagrams as moving diagrams, not static diagrams, okay? And always look at them in the light of the premise. प्रेमिस क्या बोल रहा है, ये कॉन्स्ट्रेंट्स हैं, इसके अलावा कोई कॉन्स्ट्रेंट नहीं है सर्कल पर, ठीक है? We also talked about either or. We saw how to deal with multiple premises in case there are more than 2 premises, and we will continue this discussion in our next session where we talk about a new concept called logical consistency, and we practice a few more questions on both syllogism and logical consistency. Okay, so this was about today's session. I hope you enjoyed the session. Okay, so the next class has started. I think you have to go and attend that one as well, right? So please do press the like button. You know about our CAT 22 comprehensive program, and you can stay connected with us over Telegram, right? Yes, so this is about today. I will see you again tomorrow at 12. Okay, bye.